Hello everyone, I'm going to be reviewing a mode, but before we do this, as you can see, this is more of a different layout than what I usually have. Usually I just have a very basic layout, but now I kind of want to try to see if I can make a better one. I'm welcoming feedback for anyone who actually wants to add, for anyone that has anything to add to this. Anyway, moving on to what the video is actually about, forging bonds. Now, I know this is a bit of a weird video for me to make. I don't tend to review modes all that much, especially since, well, they tend to be kind of awful, let's be honest. Grand Conquest has been, honestly, the bane of my existence. I mean, it's a lot of feathers. That's literally the only good thing I can say that's good about the mode. The gameplay itself is insufferable at best. So, yeah. Forging bonds. Now, do I think they nailed it? No. I would not say they nailed it. There's plenty of problems here, but it's usually stuff that are easily fixable. Now, as you can see, I finished the mode, even though there's a good deal of time left. Yeah, I've played a lot of it, but not really. Like, I see a lot of people throwing this tantrum about how it's stamina expensive, and then they just max everything on day one, and I'm like, dude, you literally throw away, what, 42 potions worth of stamina in time. Yeah. Why did you do that? Is beyond me. What I mean is, every 8 hours, that's your stamina being completely refilled. There's 24 hours in a day, there's 14 days for this even. That's 42 potions. Why, oh why, are you spending your potions is beyond me. Like, okay, you see how I maxed everyone? I started this mode with 72 potions. I have 65 right now. Or 66 because we got a stamina like yesterday. Stamina potion. So yeah. Did I really spend all that much? Fuck no. It's really not that expensive. Now I will say, if you're going to grind with stamina potion, wait for ×2 multiplier. The fucking it lasts for 6 hours. You have more than enough time to get like maybe 1 unit from 0 to cap, and then you do the rest just manually over time. That's something that's like the best thing to do. Like, I was not even optimal when I did this. I still maxed everything in like 12 potion, I believe. So 12 to 13 or 14, I'm not too sure. It's honestly not many. It's really not many. So, all I can say to people who actually struggle with this is just see it as a slow grind. You don't need to do this on day one. There's no purpose in it. Just basically see it as a stamina dump. So you have an actual reason to spend stamina. I know, what a shocker! Something that we basically don't have outside of Tempest Drive. Yeah. Wow. So this actually gives you a reason to spend stamina. Alright, that's cool. I feel like that's the main reason it was there. And for the reward themselves, a lot of people think that it gives not nearly enough for the amount of trouble, and I'm like, I'll be honest, I struggle to just gather the motivation to do Tempest Trial sometimes. Even just 3 runs a day. I do my first 2 because bonus points and I don't want to lose that. But outside of those 2, it's very... I don't want them. That became a chore. Okay, that really became a chore. Yes, you get a lot of rewards, but it doesn't feel like... It feels like a drag, right? And the nice thing I will say about those blessed gardens. Wow, that's a different mode. That sucks actually. About this mode is just, yeah, okay. So it's true, okay. It's definitely true that it can be a bit of a grind, but you always get reward like every 2 runs, and by runs I mean like a 1-minute map. It's not hard, it's quick. You feel like you actually, you know, have some kind of progression, and that's nice. So I feel like, yeah, maybe increase the reward a bit, but it's honestly already fine as is. If you really want to increase the reward, maybe increase the amount of orb you can get from, like, oh, I don't know, instead of 4 from reward, maybe 8 or 12. Not really asking much. The 1 a day should remain, obviously, so then you'd have something like, well, if it's 8, that's what? That's 22 orbs. If it's 12, that's 26 orbs. Yes, it says in Tempest Trial, but the thing is, unlike Tempest Trial, it is not really much of a drag. It's quick, it's easy to deal with. Every 8 hours you do, what, 6 maps? 6, 7 maps, I guess. Like, it's nothing too bad. It's pretty casual, and that's nice. So, what are my issues with the mode? It's the supports themselves. I feel like the supports are very underwhelming. Then again, it might be because it's Awakening, so they feel like the characters already know each other pretty well, to some extent. Like Sumia and Maribel already know each other pretty well. So it's kind of pointless. But I feel like it would be more interesting, like, if you're going to bring units from other worlds in quotations, I feel like they should be taken basically at the start of the story, where they actually don't know anyone, or to a point where they actually don't know enough about other people. What I mean by this is, I feel like having a conflict in the background, like what they did here, some fucking conflict about protecting a town or something like that, which felt extremely tacked on and extremely pointless, honestly. Like, it felt like, wow, we can't actually come up with stuff, so we have to be like, ooh, conflict! Those fours are going to save the world! Like, wow, okay, whatever. Can you not? Like, that's extremely boring to me, personally. And I feel like what would be more interesting is, like, you can have a conflict in the background, that's fine. But I feel like if you're going to make some kind of support about characters all together, it should be a support like C support, they meet each other, they learn about each other. B support, they actually become somewhat friends. Maybe share like part of themselves to other people. Like, it should not revolve around the summoner. I feel like that's kind of a mistake when it comes down to the whole bunch of characters that get a support together. Like, that should not be revolving around the summoner. That should be revolving around the characters, not the summoner. And it feels like those like supports where it's just like all 4 characters tends to just be like all 4 of them patting the summoner on the back, and either that or just some very vague character development in quotation, which is very awkward to say the least. Like, oh whoa, Olivia just dancing in front of the enemy, fascinating them. Wow. Wow, oh boy, that is the pinnacle of writing, buddy, everybody. Yeah, I'm sure they totally didn't see her dance to like get anyone their energy before or anything like that. Nah, that cannot have happened before. Like, that's just, I don't know, it's just silly. It feels silly to me. Yes, it does improve her character in the sense that now she kind of get over her stage fright, but I feel like that should be something that would be in the summoner slash character development. iPhone, move away phone. So, as a result, I definitely feel like that should just be like summoner support kind of deal. And when you're talking about all 4 characters, it should be more like like characters developing themselves with each other, how they react to how other characters are. I know this is a bit of a difficult topic because this is essentially like making a 4-way support, but it would be way more interesting than just be like, oh look, it's what you already know about the character, let's recycle it into a cutscene that feels like it has no impact whatsoever because you just don't care about the conflict. It's the most generic conflict ever. Who cares, right? And what I said is also mostly for FE4, because in FE4 there is plenty of characters that just do not meet each other. Also Radiant Dawn and Path of Radiance, because from what I've been... not Path of Radiance, but Radiant Dawn. I believe due to biorhythm, I think, characters cannot be used all that well all the time. So you don't tend to use the same characters over and over as a result. So some characters just don't really meet too well. So I don't know, I feel like you could build around that. Or like FE4, FE5, Eldigan meets Ares, which is his kid, which he never meets because he dies beforehand. Stuff like this would be really interesting. Just Sigurd meeting Selif's friends also would be interesting. Stuff like this. Just make the character meet with the other characters. Maybe have a conflict between characters. Maybe just essentially like, I don't know, like essentially Maribel meeting Olivia. Maribel is far from timid. Olivia is definitely timid. So Maribel could be just giving her lessons about how to improve herself so she does not, you know, she does not keep having this stage fright. Look, that's already a better idea than most of the support we've got, which were extremely boring, honestly. So yeah, essentially just don't center around conflict. That's the main issue I have with the mode, when it comes down to it. And if we're talking about gameplay wise, here's a few changes I would like to make. The ×2 multiplier should be easy to guess when it comes. What I mean is there should be a 2× multiplier every day. But since we have a 6-hour session between all of those, I feel like it should essentially be like, okay, so day 1, okay, for me reset is at 3 AM, okay, just keep that in mind. So from 3 AM to 9 AM on day 1, that would be a 2× multiplier. On day 2, from 9 AM to 3 PM, that would be a 2× multiplier. On day 3, from 3 PM to 9 PM, that would be a 2× multiplier. On day 4, from 9 PM to 3 AM, that would be a 2× multiplier, and then repeat. Yes, there's one time slot that would not be able to be repeated. Actually, no, 2. It will not be able to be repeated 4 times, where so they will only repeat 3 times, where the rest will repeat 4 times. I feel like 3 is more than enough, and that way you don't have to check every fucking hours. You'll be able to just, okay, so 2 times is coming there, so I need to be like, okay, do I have time on that day? Okay, I can do that. There we go, easy. That way it's predictable, not random, and you'll be able to schedule yourself to actually like play the game if you want, in a way that does not like become cumbersome, which is cool. I feel like this is something that should already be in the game to begin with. but it's not for whatever reason. Yeah, it's kind of stupid. Another thing, do not make chest random. Do not make chest random. There is nothing more frustrating than RNG fucking you up. Maybe Maybe reduce it to like 2 chests a shot, but make it like 100% instead of like possibly 3, possibly 1. A consistent 2 chests would at least be somewhat okay. The reason why I say this is because, well, that way you can get to around, I think, 96 bare minimum on a 2 times every map, which feels a bit more consistent at the very least. And I've also noticed that sometimes you get more points than other times. I'd like to know what procs that, because that just feels random as shit. Oh well. That's really all I have to say. Like, if we're talking about anything else gameplay-wise, there's really nothing else to change. Everything feels just about fine, really. The mode, honestly, is probably the best mode they've had it since Tempest Drive, if I'm being honest. And that has been a long time ago already. So yeah, it's definitely a welcome addition. I just hope they work on the support so it's a bit more unique, essentially, and a bit more character building. Outside of that, yeah, that's about it. It was just a pretty short video with my thoughts about the game mode. As usual, Discord will be in the description below, and I'll see you guys later. Good day.